Hello, my dear students. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Today we'll be learning about a new exercise which is more relevant to your stream, which is the clinical lab science. We have got a table out here, and this is again something which you will be doing in MS Excel. And let me first read out the question first. What is the problem? The problem says that facilitate, bring in an automatic functionality where the results of the blood test reports are getting concluded automatically as high, low, and normal. You can use the following table for reference. So this is our table. This is the investigation like hemoglobin, glucose, urea, serum. And the second column contains the normal range, where we know that hemoglobin, if a patient is getting a hemoglobin in between 11.5 to 15, we'll call it a normal one. And if it is more than 15, we'll call it high. And if it is less than 11.5, we have to conclude it as a low hemoglobin report. Similarly, we have got glucose, urea serum, prothrombin, patient value. And as you see over here, we have got the results out here, 16, as we see, 16, if we compare it to the normal range, it is coming out to be high. 65 is coming out to be low, depending upon this range, and 18 is again coming under the normal range, and 8.67 is also touching the limits over here, but still it is a normal one. Now, what we need to do over here is that we have to bring this thing coming out to be automatic in our Excel file. This is our target of today. So let's jump up straight away into Excel. Let me open up the Excel file. This is one of the blank files. Once we click on the new button, we get to see this Excel file. Now, since I have got the soft copy with me, I'll just copy paste the stuff from here. But in your case, you're supposed to type everything from here. The first three columns are supposedly expected from the students that they are supposed to type them in their examination session. I'll just copy paste those things over here, Control C and Control V operation. I'll broaden up remove the columns so that it looks better. Okay, so we have got the three columns over here. I'll just remove this the borders. I don't want the borders right now. And then we have got the fourth one. What was the name of the fourth column? It was auto conclusion. So I'll take it from here. I'll go back to this place and I'll do a simple copy paste stuff over here. Now, this is where the fun begins. This is where we'll be learning something new. As you see over here in this particular line, we'll start with this one. We'll be bringing up an automatic functionality over here in such a way, if I change anything out here, for example, right now I see 16 over here. If I change it to 10, we should see an automatic thing like low over here. Or if I bring a value which is somewhere in the normal range like 12 or 13, it should show as normal. And if it is more than 15, it should show as 16. And it should show as high. Okay, so the first and foremost thing which you're supposed to do is that you have to bring your pointer over here. Okay, now I'll be going to the file menu and I'll look for sale, and then which we call as formula in the English version. And then I'll go for the logical one, which is called Muntaqi. This is the Muntaqi one. Okay, again, we will be using the if statement out here, and I'll press on if. Now we have got the small window, which we call as dialog, opening up for the if command. This is where you need to use a bit of your mind. Number one, take your mouse and go to the result of the first line. Where is the result of the first line? This is hemoglobin, this is the range, and this is the result, isn't it? I'll click on the result, which is showing as 16 over here. As soon as I click on 16, I have got the address of that place, of that cell. Now, then I'll be, with the help of my keyboard, I would be saying greater than shift, and I will be putting up the symbol of greater than. As you see over here, I've put in the symbol of greater than. If this natija result is greater than the lower limit. What is the lower limit over here, which you call as Rakam al-Adna? That is 11.5. So I'll put it up as 11.5, or maybe a smaller value, one fasla lesser than 11.5, which is 11.4. Okay, let's keep it like that. If this value is greater than this one, then you have to come to the next part. Here you have to write down another if statement, because you have got two things over there. What we are checking up over here is that we are checking up a value if this value is greater than the smaller range, and if it is lesser than the bigger range, it has to be normal. Otherwise, it will be high and low. So this step is something which you need to focus upon. I will be writing an if statement, if command over here. So I'll be typing IFF, then I'll open up a parenthesis, if taqos, okay? Then I will select the same field of 16 with my mouse. So I'll put up 16. I can see the same address coming up as J17. So now, since I have checked it up for the smaller value, now I'll check it up for the higher value in the normal range. What is the higher value out here? It is 15, isn't it? This time I'll be putting up lesser than key, which is shift and this one. Now this particular symbol is facing towards the right side. If this value is lesser than 15, I'll make it like 15.1 or 16. Never mind, let's put it up as 16. So if this is lesser than 15, or it's up to you, you can put up 15 as well. Ideally, you should give it a smaller value, more than whatever the normal range over there. So 15.1 would also work. So if this value is lesser than 15.1, now this is where you have put up the condition. And if this condition is true, okay, let's try to work out how the flow will go. First of all, they will check for the value in this one. If this is akbar min rakam al-adna, if this is bigger than 11.5. If it is true, then they will jump up to the next column. Here you will be checking up if it is lesser than 15.1, then I'll put up a comma. You should know the syntax of a if command. So you are supposed to write if a value is lesser than 15.1, then I'll be using a double quote, which is close to the shift button in the keyboard. I write down normal. I'll close the quotes. Then I'll put up a comma. This is all the structure of the formula. So you have to learn the sigh. If condition, comma, then you have to put normal, and then I'll put up. If it is not, then I have to put high, opening up the quotes, closing the quotes. So we are done with the statement of if in the next one. And finally, in the third blank, we are supposed to write down low. That's it. So these are the steps which you need to learn well, and this can only be attained through practice. Now, let's check it up whether this particular function is working out nicely or not. I'll press on Muafiq OK button. And as you see over here, I'm seeing the value as high. Let's try to change it now. I'll change the result and let's see whether the conclusion is getting affected or not. For example, if I bring something, let's see what are the numbers out here, 11.5 and 15. I'll put up a smaller number like 2. And then I'll move to the next column. As soon as I change, as soon as I go to the next cell, I can see the result changing to low. If I bring something in between the HUD, like 12, see, the normal came automatically. If I bring something like 16, it is coming out to be high. So this shows that the functionality is working absolutely nicely, even for the limiting values like 11.5 and 15. Let's take 15. 15 should also come as normal. 15.1 should be high. 11.4 should be low. So this particular function is working absolutely wonderfully fine. So once we get the first line working perfectly, then the task becomes a lot easier for us. All we need to do is that we have to come up to this cell, go to the rukun or the corner as we call it, and then press the mouse and bring everything down. So we got the automatic values out here, but we have to do a bit of change out here. That's it. I'll show you how to change those values, and then your file is up and running well. Let's come up to the second line. Okay, right now this one is showing as high, though the result is 65 and the limit is 70 to 140. Ideally this should come as low, but this is not working fine. Let me tell you the reason why. First of all, you bring your mouse over here and then come up to this area. This is the entire formula which we brought in recently. The only you have to do a bit of changes out here. If you look closely in this formula, you are seeing the value of 11.4 and 15.1, which are not applicable to this particular line, because here the normal range is from 70 to 140. So all you need to do is that the smaller number which you see over here, 11.4, change it to the lower value out here. So I'll change it to 70. It's written 70 over there. So I'll put it in as 69. And the other one, the bigger number, 15.1, was the range for the hemoglobin. I'll change that 15.1 to the upper value out here is 140. So we'll put it as 141. That's it. Then I'll come to the end of this line and I'll press enter. So as soon as I press enter, you can see this particular line, this line is also working fine. Let's check it up again. Let's change the result to 70 normal, 80 normal, as 80 normal, because 70 to 140 it's normal, even 140 it's normal, 135 it's normal, 145 normal. Let's try to bring in a high value like 141 high, Alf high. See, 1 normal, 1 is low, and 70 is normal. So now what we can see is that this line is working perfectly fine. Now let's come to the third line. Third line is again, we'll come to this area, the area of high and low, this cell. I'll go back to this formula bar and I'll change the values of Rakam al-Adna and the lower limit and the upper limit. The lower limit for the urea serum is 17.00. So I'll just put up a value lesser than this one, which is 16.99. And the other value, the bigger number, is 43 over here. So I'll change 15. I'm just double clicking out here to change that value, and I'll take it to, I'll put it as 43.1. That's it. Press enter. This value is also working fine now. You can check it up. 16 low, 17 should be normal, 40 should be normal, 25 is normal, 43 is normal, and finally 44 high. So this functionality is also working absolutely nicely. Now the similar thing which we are supposed to do out here is to change the lower limit and upper limit in the last one. Come up over here. We have the limits over 8.67. So I'll change the lower limit out here to 8.66. And we have got 11.82. So let's go back to that place and I'll change the upper limit to 11.83. That's it, enter. And now our functionality, our file is complete. We have been able to successfully facilitate an automatic functionality where if we change anything, it is getting reflected straight away. See, 8.68 should come out as low, 8.67 should come out as normal, 11.77 should come as high, 11.82 should come out as normal, anything bigger than that should come out as high. So here we have been able to successfully bring up a functionality, this particular functionality. I hope you people are able to understand this thing. You should give it a try. There is one more way in which you can do it straight away. I'll show it to you. For example, if I send you this command, this entire command, this is another way. Okay, I'll just copy this one and I'll try to put it up somewhere over here for your reference where you can do it. Okay, Let's come down. This is the command, okay? For example, let's take another value, some other value. I'll call it a test. Control Z. Let's come back to this one. A normal test. Let's give it some normal range like 12 to 15. Okay. Now let's change it to 12 to 15. And then we will be giving it a value. Now, if you are able to write down this entire command all by yourself, okay, so it will become a lot more easier for you in case if you're good at it. That's the point. And if you're able to understand each and every bit of it. For example, this if command, if I copy it up, if I copy this command and go back to that file, and if I type it over there like this is equal to and write it out there, okay? All you need to do over here is that you have to change the references. For example, J20, it's not J20. The area is this one. Nevertheless, this is something which you won't require. Let it be. You learn it this way. You learn it the normal way. I'll show you the procedure once again. See, okay. I'll show you the procedure once again for your reference. For example, I need to bring in an auto functionality over here. First of all, come up over here, روح إلى صيغ, and then go to Muntaqi, and then click on this one. If this is Akbar is greater than what is the lower limit out here? 12. So I'll put it as 11. If it is Akbar, then I have to type if statement. If that, you have to open up the bracket. Again, use this thing. If it is lesser than what is the bigger limit out here? 16. And then put up a fasla and double quotes. You will be writing normal, and then fasla double quotes high, and then come to the next one, low. If you practice it again and again, you'll be very good at this one. See, now they're just coming out. This one is working absolutely nicely. What I was trying to say is that if you learn how to type this entire statement, but you should know that you have to, first of all, you have to put equal to sign, then if taqas, then al-makan, the address of that result, and then greater than the lower limit, and comma, then if, and then you have to write down the entire command. Then you can get the same thing as your result. But that is again, which you don't require working over there right now, because I think it's better to use this functionality where you can go to sale and Muntaqi and you have got this particular window. This one is easier in that aspect. Okay, so this will be your assignment for this week. I'll be sending you the same question and the file in the WhatsApp group as well as in the LMS. And all of you give it a try out there. In case you are stuck anywhere, you can contact me through WhatsApp. Inshallah, I'll be there to help you. Thanks a lot for attending the session. Goodbye. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.